Hello everyone, welcome to today's worship. It's the first worship of a new half term and I hope you've all had a good half term. Now this week is the start of a week, or a fortnight should I say, that we celebrate every year. I wonder if you can remember what it is. Let's start with these words of worship. Peace be with you and also with you. We light this candle to remind us that God is with us and his light shines on us. It's time for us to sing our song. Today I've chosen I Planted a Seed. I wonder if you can think why I've chosen this song for this week. I will see you at the other end of the song. Enjoy. So, the theme of our worship today is Fairtrade Fortnight 2021. We all know the symbol of Fairtrade, and we know that it represents a mission to try and make sure that the people that grow some of our favourite food from around the world get the money that they need to enjoy a life that we enjoy. The theme for the Fairtrade Fortnight this year is all about the responsibility to make the right choices. And if you want to know a little bit more about the theme for this week's or this fortnight's project, click on the link above or this Choose the World You Want sign here. So, the theme is choosing the world that you want and being responsible in the choices you make. Because every choice we make, and we make many choices every day, affects the world around us. Let's see if I can show you what I mean. Martin Luther King said that before you finish eating breakfast in the morning, you depended on more than half the world. What did he mean? Well, my breakfast this morning included some muesli, and so it had fruits that have been grown from around the world. And it had a nice cup of coffee, which means that coffee has come from somewhere else in the world. And I'm never likely to meet the people that grew the coffee or grew the raisins. But without them, I wouldn't have had the breakfast I enjoyed this morning. I wonder what you had for breakfast this morning and how many people you depended on to get it to your bowl or your plate or your cup. So let's have a think about some more of the choices that we make every day. If I choose to recycle the packages that I use, well then the world is a better place because I'm saving those precious resources that I A, don't want to leave on the floor, I B, don't want to put in the bin that will end up in a hole in the ground for millions of years and damage the earth. But if I do put them in the right recycling containers, they can be used for something else. A good choice that helps the world. If I choose to walk a short distance instead of driving, there is a shop in my village and I could choose to drive to it to save me 2 minutes, but that would use fuel that the world can't spare and it would produce pollution. So I walk to the shop and it makes me healthier and it makes the world a cleaner place. The days are getting longer, and so I'm going to be choosing to grow some of my own vegetables. When I grow my own vegetables and I eat my own vegetables, I'm saving myself some money. I'm saving the air miles that need to bring some of those vegetables from around the world to my table. And also I'm cutting down on the plastic that my vegetables can be in when I go to the supermarket to buy them. So they're all good choices. So many of our choices will have an effect on other people. Sometimes those choices have a bigger effect than we know. So we're going to go on a little journey around the world now. If you look at the red arrow, you'll see that's where we are in Great Britain. And then you'll see countries from around the world. Kenya with a black arrow, Côte d'Ivoire or the Ivory Coast in Africa with a green arrow, and Panama in Central America with the purple arrow. I wonder if you can think what is grown in those three places. Well, the first place we've gone to is Panama. And Panama is where some of our bananas come from. Now, one of the things about bananas is that they're not the easiest plant to grow. Banana trees can get diseased if the conditions aren't right to grow bananas in them. And if the banana tree is diseased, then there are no bananas. So this is a banana plantation. And there is Marcial with his family. And by buying Fairtrade bananas, I'm helping Marcial by giving him the right amount of money that he needs to be able to have a small house and send his children to school and replace the trees that are damaged or diseased. But those other choices that I made, that's not using my car as much or recycling, all help the environment, and they help to reduce that global warming that could damage those bananas that we enjoy so much. Every single choice I make has an impact on Marcial and his ability to grow those delicious bananas. Now, where have I gone to next? Well, I've gone to get some coffee. Coffee is one of my favourite things. And the man you can see in the blue t-shirt there is Bernard. And Bernard is a coffee grower, and he comes from Kenya. Now, coffee, like bananas, is a plant that needs to be treated very carefully. If the plant becomes too dry, then the plant will die. Because coffee doesn't just grow in the way that it looks in the jar, but it grows as a bean inside a cherry, a coffee cherry. You can see a man picking those coffee cherries there. And so Bernard and his team need to help train the coffee growers of Kenya to be able to grow the coffee plants, to be able to help to make sure that I get the coffee that I need. But again, all of the choices that I make have an impact on Bernard and the plants that need that water. If the plants become too dry, no coffee for Mr. Simmons. So, where have I gone to next? Well, I've gone to the Ivory Coast on the other side of Africa from Kenya. And there you can see Teresa. Now, so far we've met Marcial and Bernard, but the majority of workers who grow those plants, the coffee and the bananas and this plant here, and yes, it is cocoa, it's that chocolate, are grown by women. So Marcial is cutting down, you can see her there, cutting down the coffee pods or the cocoa pods. Again, just like coffee, just like bananas, cocoa trees don't grow in just any old place. They need to be surrounded by lots of other trees that protect them from all sorts of weather and diseases. And cocoa trees can very easily become diseased. Imagine a life without chocolate. Very difficult to do so, and I've given up chocolate for Lent. So we need to make sure that in all of our choices, we're doing the best that we can to protect these cocoa trees so we never have to live a life without chocolate. Teresa's life is hard enough as it is. In many places, cocoa trees only grow in very hard to get to places where there are no roads or buses or cars. They grow in the middle of huge expanses of forest. And so to get there is a long walk. But those choices that we make to recycle, to help the global environment, will help Teresa to continue to grow the delicious chocolate. And obviously by buying Fairtrade chocolate, we help her even more. So the Fairtrade organisation wants to say thank you to you. They want to say thank you to you for the choices you'll make this week and moving forward, not just in buying Fairtrade products, but in protecting the environment and the climate. That means that the Fairtrade farmers, their life is a little bit easier in growing the things that we need and enjoy so much. It's time for a prayer. Put your hands together. Dear God, help me to remember that I'm responsible for the choices that I make, for the words that I use, for the way I treat my friends, for the food that I buy and the difference that this choice will make to farms around the world. Amen. Every choice you make affects someone. Some of those choices affect people we don't know from around the world, and that's what we're thinking about this week and next. And so let's share our school prayer and hope we haven't forgotten it over half term. Dear God, thank you for the friendly people in our school and the wonderful environment where we learn and play. We are sorry if we have not shown each other respect or if we've not always been honest. Please help us to keep safe and to try our best in everything we do. We love our school. Amen. So may the light of God shine from us and the peace of God be with us always. Amen. We go into the world to walk in God's light, to rejoice in God's love and to reflect God's glory. Amen. And here's a little challenge for you. Everyone knows the Fairtrade logo you can see just above my head. the person holding their hand up to remind us of the need to treat everyone with fairness, the green leaf and the blue ocean that help us, and the black circle representing that person's head. The whole thing looks like the world. Well, I wonder if you could use some recycled materials to make that image for me. Talk to your parents about it, see what you've got, and see if some of your time this week you're able to make a symbol like that you can photograph and post on your Seesaw page. There will be a small prize for everyone that's able to do that for me, and look forward to seeing what you've got. Enjoy the challenge. And finally, it's time to be quiet and think about the choices that you can make this week as you listen to this Fairtrade story. So click on that link or follow the picture and see how the Fairtrade choices we make help to tell a story of good news around the world. Speak to you later, everyone. Goodbye.